Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2025 related video here on my channel, and today I'm going to be taking you through my current ranking of this year's lineup, my top 37 as it stands of Eurovision 2025, an event that we all know will take place next month in Basel, Switzerland. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. What used to be the case several years ago is as soon as we had about 5 or 6 songs confirmed for an upcoming edition of Eurovision, I would put those countries' names into a spreadsheet and rank them, and then as soon as we had another national final result come in or another internally selected song came our way, those countries' names would go into that list as well, and I would move them up and down as I saw fit, and then before you knew it I would have a complete ranking of that year's entries. Then I would re-rank the songs 6, 7, maybe more than 8 times until I was somewhat satisfied with what I had in front of me, and I would say to myself, okay, that will do, enough tinkering, this list is now final. Although of course a ranking is never truly final in my opinion, it is somewhat interchangeable. What has been the case for several years now is I don't really rank the songs at all until we have the complete lineup for an upcoming edition of the ESC. So usually this is mid-March. I do still use a spreadsheet. I put all of the countries into a column and move them up and down as I see fit, but I usually predominantly use online sorting websites. Today I'm going to be taking you through my current ranking based on what happened when I sorted the songs on the website Eurovision Place. And I have used that website before several times, and this is about my 4th or 5th full ranking of this year's lineup. Now I should say the default setting on Eurovision Place excludes Israel, but if you would like me to tell you roughly where Israel is ranked in my top 37 this year, I will be mentioning that at the end of this video. With that being said, it goes without saying, don't take this too personally or too seriously. It's just a ranking at the end of the day. Please respect my opinions as I will with yours. Feel free to let me know where you've ranked certain countries in your top 37 if you so wish by leaving a comment down below. I'm now going to get straight into this. I'm not going to talk about the songs too much because I'm not terribly great at talking about Eurovision songs, as long-time subscribers will be very much aware. But anyway, here we go, enough rambling. My number 36 of the year, my last place, and this country is going to stay there, I can tell you that much. It's Georgia, Mariam Shengelia with Freedom. This is in the second semi-final next month. I would be amazed if this goes through. The only thing that could help this song's cause is if there's some really dodgy voting going on behind the scenes. Otherwise, this is as close to dead on arrival as you can get. Mariam is a fine vocalist. In the music video, she looks great. She's been at 1 or 2 of the pre-parties already. She hasn't sounded that bad. But this song, it is a ballad, and it's a really quite forgettable one. It's a song that doesn't really know what it wants to be. As a result, it feels as though maybe it's trying to cram in a bit too much. It comes across as a rather jumbled mess. This is not the sort of song that I'm ever going to gravitate towards long after this year's competition is over. As a result, I cannot rank it any higher than last place. Number 36, as I can see in front of me, Georgia. And what a disappointment, because last year it felt as though they turned a corner a little bit, making the final for the first time in several years with Nutsa Buzaladze and Firefighter, and this year they've just gone straight downhill again. What a disappointment. My number 35, also a fat disappointment. This is Croatia, Poison Cake by Marko Bošnjak. Last year, Croatia had Rim Tim Tagidim by Baby Lasagna. He won the public vote in the final. It's my favourite Croatian entry at Eurovision thus far, my personal winner last year. And now they have this, and it couldn't be more different from Rim Tim Tagidim in all honesty, and it feels like such an unbelievable downgrade. Croatia aren't pushing on, they have gone very backwards indeed, if you ask me. Marko is not really the problem. We know he can sing because his entry at Dora several years ago was perfectly fine and he sang it well. This song, Again, I'm not terribly sure it knows what it wants to be. I find some of the lyrics quite cringy. The chorus in particular is very off-putting. It feels very jarring, very aggressive in tone. It's just very hard for me to enjoy this track, and I think that's the case with a lot of other people as well. As a result, number 35, Croatia. Would be amazed if they qualified. My number 34 is the returning Montenegro with the returning Nina Zizic and the song Dobrodošli. She's great, very good vocalist. She's commanding that stage. She has real power. She's really feeling every syllable that she's singing. This song, though, I feel like I've heard it many times before. It's maybe lacking a little razzmatazz to make it truly stand out from the field. It's good, but I'm never really going to gravitate towards this one after this year's competition is over, and I feel as though I sort of forget about it as soon as I've heard it, which sounds harsh, but it's the truth. My number 34 is Montenegro. My number 33, this is not a bad song at all. It's maybe a bit of a dark horse. It's Slovenia. How Much Time Do We Have Left by Klemen. As soon as I saw his name involved in the EMA lineup, I thought he's going to win because he's a very recognisable figure in Slovenia. People will vote for the name rather than the song, and I feel as though that's sort of what happened several months ago. This is a very touching track. He's singing about his wife. The staging could be very beautiful and impactful as well. But ultimately, I think the majority of listeners, especially first-time listeners next month, they're probably going to be bored to tears by this, and maybe they won't really connect with the message of this song. It's definitely the sort of track where you do have to pay attention to the lyricism, because that way you'll be able to understand what the singer is getting at, absolutely. And if people don't do that, then it's just going to go over their heads a little bit. Not that it's a confusing track, but you know what I mean. And points might be hard to come by. Number 33, it's a fine song, can't rank it any higher, Slovenia. My number 32 is Serbia. This is Mila by Prince. What a vocalist this man is. One of the best vocalists this year. You could absolutely make that case. He's been at a few pre-parties. He's sounded really good. I believe he is now absolutely a contender to qualify. I think he was out of it for a little while, but based on the betting odds, I think he's now the 9th or 10th likely qualifier from semi-final 2. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes through at all. It is a somewhat typical Balkan ballad, I guess, with a stirring melody and a fairly powerful chorus. I do feel as though I've heard it all before. I think he's got a little bit of star power about him. It's not the strongest or most competitive Serbian entry over the past few years, perhaps. It's not bad. It's not brilliant. As such, it's my number 32. My number 31 is Portugal. This is Deslocado, Displaced, by Napa. Now, this song, again, maybe not the most competitive entry, but that's okay, saying that you are in it to win it. This song is just really beautiful. It feels like a cool breeze on a summer's day. I'm really enjoying the somewhat hazy atmosphere that this song gives off. It feels very vintage. It feels very classic. These are things that I'm really appreciating about the Portuguese track this year. Saying that, it's just not really leaving enough of an impact on me personally. It's absolutely a dark horse. Portugal might well go through to the final with this and keep up their good track record over the past few years of qualifying for the final. But if they don't go through, it's not really a shock to anybody. Again, when I was doing my research on the artists, which I do for every national final, when I was looking at the FDC lineup, I saw this song and it had way more streams, way more than any other song in the FDC lineup, and I thought that's got to mean something. Then I found out where they were from and what the song's about, and I thought this is clearly going to resonate with a lot of people, so it came to be. They won FDC, they're heading to Eurovision. Now, whether non-Portuguese speakers will really go to the trouble of trying to find out what this song's about, I don't really know. So it's a bit like the Slovenian track. There is a message to it, but will people care enough about the message? Will people care enough about the song if it's definitely not that competitive in the first place. I don't really know. As a result, number 31 for Portugal, but it's really not a bad song. My number 30 is Ukraine, which might be a bit low, in the opinion of many. This is Bird of Prey by Zifferblatt, all-male group. This feels a little bit indie in style. There are things that I like about this song. It goes from being quite melancholic, mellifluous, whatever other synonym you can think of, and then it has this sort of chugging rhythm at other times. And I don't know, I think I need to give this song more of a chance. I don't think I'm ever going to rank it much higher than 30th. And we know that Ukraine are going to do quite well again this year because they usually do quite well at Eurovision. And if this ends up in the top 10 in the final, not a single Eurovision fan should be remotely surprised because I can see it happening at this moment in time. For me, though, I'm just very indifferent on this one. Structurally, and I suppose vocally, it's quite interesting. And it's definitely something different once again from Ukraine, and that's very welcome. They're always doing something completely different from anybody else, which is great. But this time around, I'm very lukewarm towards their effort. My number 29 of the year, and I have gone off this one in recent weeks, it's Ireland, Like a Party by Emmy. Not that this is a major problem, but I don't think Emmy has any ties to Ireland whatsoever, so how she ended up being in the Irish national selection I don't know, and then winning it, well, what do you know? This song feels a little bit junior Eurovision coded, I suppose. It's somewhat brimming with youthful energy, it's fairly catchy, but it also feels to me as though the songwriters gathered together and tried to write a song that sounded stereotypically Eurovision-y, if you see what I mean. I'm not describing this terribly well. It's got a pretty typical pop beat, I guess. Lyrically, it's okay. The music video, not that that matters. I didn't really enjoy that, I'll be honest with you. I don't think she's the most amazing live singer, not that I'm a professional singer myself. Last year, Ireland took a risk, it paid off. This year, they're taking another risk. I'm not sure it's going to pay off. It's my number 29. My number 28 is Poland, which will be absolutely appalling to some of you, I'm sure, that I have this song ranked so low. This is Gaia by Justyna Steczkowska, who's been at Eurovision before 30 years ago. She's now back. This song is far better than her previous effort. It is a very powerful, frantic style of song. Vocally quite impressive. It's very loud and in your face, but it's not super aggressive in the way that you could say the Croatian chorus is. Definitely need to give this one another chance. I think that she has real star power on stage. I think she's really owning the performance, a very diva type figure, and there's no doubt about it. This is really powerful, really strong, definitely going to stand out in Basel next month. It's definitely going to be in the final, if you ask me. But will first-time listeners enjoy this, or will they just think, please stop shrieking? It remains to be seen. At the moment, number 28 for Poland. Number 27, probably the dark horse of the year, Latvia. This is Burman Laimi by Tautu Meitas. This is a very springy, hopeful, floral-sounding song, if that's the right word to use. You know what I'm on about. It feels cultish, but not in a creepy way. All these women, the staging at Supernova was really quite impressive. Take what you have, elevate it for Eurovision. This could be a real moment. It's such a welcome breath of fresh air in a lineup that is full of very expressive entries. Latvia qualified against the odds last year. Will it happen again this year? Who knows? I'm leaning towards yes. I can see this making the final, and I think it would be a very welcome song to have in the final. But, again, will first-time listeners really appreciate this? I just don't know. For now, my number 27, but it could be higher after this year's contest is over and done with. My number 26 is Armenia. This is Survivor by Park. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This, to me, first of all, I think it's probably the weakest Armenian entry for a few years. Secondly, it feels very macho, very testosterone-heavy. It's the sort of song that you play to get yourself fired up for something. Thomas Gierson has co-written this. How he became to be involved with this Armenian track, I've absolutely no idea. In fact, this song is written by several people. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people have written this damn song. Give me a break. Thomas Gierson, who co-wrote Euphoria and Tattoo, and Peter Bostrom, who co-wrote Euphoria and Tattoo, and has also co-written Essa Diva. Why are they involved with this song? I really don't know. Maybe it was meant for Melfest. I've no idea. Anyway, he's really going for it on stage. There's a lot of vigour and energy that is present in this track, and indeed the performances we've had so far. I do think it's more likely to come across as messy at Eurovision rather than nicely cohesive, if you see what I mean. Right now, it's my number 26. Number 25, Azerbaijan. This is a bit underrated, and I have to say this. If this song was for another country and not Azerbaijan, would more people be ranking this highly? I don't know. This is Mama Gamma with Run With You. There are things that I like about this song very much. The instrumentation, we have some sort of traditional instrumentation that is present at parts in this song, and that just gives this song a bit of a dynamic flavour. It stops it from being really bog standard. I like the melody, I like the beat. It feels a little bit on the funky side, but it's not straight up funk. It's fairly accessible. Vocally, live, because we have had a few live performances of this one. Maybe it's not been bang on the money. It's not been too bad. It's Azerbaijan's strongest entry for a few years, if you ask me. It still might not be enough to see them through, but it's a solid showing. My number 24, Lithuania, Tavoakis by Katarsis. When I was doing my research on the Lithuanian acts ages ago, I thought to myself, okay, Katarsis, they seem like a pretty big deal, a lot of fans, they're going to be ones to watch. I put them on the Instagram post, on the joint Instagram page, link in the description, the artists to watch for Lithuania. This year, they ended up winning the selection. This song is very gloomy, atmospheric, dark. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It does become quite repetitive as well, but there is the opportunity here to make this a really stellar live performance in Basel and really ramp up the atmospheric nature of this song. I don't really have any concerns about Lithuania qualifying this year because, they do have a bit of a diaspora vote and they usually go through anyway, so even if the diaspora vote wasn't in full force this year, they would probably still make the cut. Anyway, really nice song, definitely very different. Will enough people connect with it? I don't know, but it is good. It's my number 24 at this moment in time. I'm waffling big time. We move on to number 23, Norway. Massive disappointment. It's not bad. I've seen very conflicting opinions on this one. Some people have said it's a really credible pop effort, which I suppose it is, and some other people have said this is a very overrated and underwhelming pop effort, which I also sort of agree with. This is Kyle Alessandro with Lighter. He's not bad. There were promising signs at MGP. He's got quite a bit of energy. He's a sort of heartthrob figure as well, I suppose. There's flames, dancers. I don't think we're really going to have many differences at Eurovision to what we had at MGP. And if you ask me, this year's MGP was enormously disappointing. Probably the weakest MGP we've had in all the years I've been a Eurovision fan. I'm really surprised. I think it's on the Eurovision scoreboard app. This is right up there in the top 6 or something, which is baffling to me. This, the 6th best song of the year. Jesus wept. I don't think so. I do disagree with that. Because if this song was in another edition of MGP a few years ago, I'm not sure it would have come close to winning at all. If this had been in Melfest this year, last year, the year before that, I don't think we would have been saying at all this is a contender to win. That's just my opinion. Maybe you disagree with me, that's completely fine. This Norwegian track though, it's okay, but it is very underwhelming. I can see it doing all right in the final. It ain't that incredible though. It's my number 23. Number 22, it's a sort of similar deal here. It's Cyprus, Shush by Theo Evan. I do feel as though this is another somewhat macho-sounding song. He seems like an okay vocalist. This has a sort of quite frantic melody as well, I suppose. Don't really remember much about this, and I've heard it several times now. So again, there is this sort of slight disjointedness to this particular track. It's hard to say how well Cyprus will do this year. I can see Theo making the final. I think a lot of the emphasis is going to be on the staging. He's last on in the first semi-final, so clearly there is going to be something about the staging. I wouldn't be surprised if that stands out more than the song. Right now, number 22. Number 21, Malta. This is Serving by Mirjana Conte. She's great. Loads of people love her. People are loving her energy, her enthusiasm, her vocals, which are strong. And then this song, which to me, in all honesty, feels quite cheap. I felt that from the first time I heard it. Didn't love the national final performance either. Not really sure what's going to be different for Eurovision, whether she's going to have dancers bouncing up and down on these exercise balls or not. I really don't know. I have very mixed opinions on this one, because on the one hand, I enjoy it and it feels quite empowering somehow, and then on the other hand, I think, my God, this just feels like a really throwaway, quite cheap effort, if I'm being honest with you. So somewhere in the middle feels about right for now. It's my number 21. Can see Malta doing all right this year, at least making the final, but we all know Malta don't really get the love from the public. Will that be different this year? It remains to be seen. My number 20, Belgium. Again, I have somewhat conflicting opinions on this song. It's Red Sebastian with Strobe Lights. Vocally, he's clearly doing some impressive things. He won the Belgian selection by a mile. I don't think he should have won it by a mile. It should have been a lot closer, but what's done is done. This has a sort of old school nightclub throbbing beat thing going on. The staging could be very impressive indeed. Again, take what you have from the national final, elevate it a great deal for Eurovision. It could be really something. This is probably going to make the final. It's probably going to do all right in the final. I'm sure he's going to sound okay at Eurovision as well. I've got no concerns there. But for a song, indeed a national final, that was getting quite a lot of hype at first, that hype has pretty much vanished. I've seen few people really talk about the Belgian track, and that does make me wonder whether this is going to do incredibly well in Basel. So we'll wait and see. Anyway, it's my number 20 of the year. My number 19 is Greece. I'd like to rank this higher, but I can't at the moment. Instrumentally, this is fantastic. Really loving the atmosphere of this song. It's Asteromata by Klavdi, a beautiful woman in glasses. Like the music video. I'm not too sure about her stage presence. Then again, the Greek national final, it wasn't the biggest stage. It wasn't the most incredible atmosphere, perhaps. Things will change for Eurovision, I'm sure. I think this is a really, really solid ballad. And I'm surprised more people aren't talking about this doing really, really well, because it could happen. It's a really fine effort. It's my number 19 of the year. Number 18, San Marino. I'm going off this one ever so slightly. Could well get the country back into the final, though. Gabri Ponte, Tutta l'Italia. Uncredited vocals in this one as well, it must be worth saying. This was obviously the theme song to Sanremo, so it's already very well known in Italy, and it's being quite successful there. So that could be several points already in the bag. This is fun, catchy. It's a sort of, football tournament theme song as well. It comes across that sort of way. I really don't mind it, but it could be quite underwhelming live at Eurovision, to be honest with you. I don't know why I think that, but I'm just wondering whether this is going to truly stand out enough. My number 17 is Estonia. This is Tommy Cash, Espresso Macchiato. Don't really know how to feel about this one at the moment. It's clearly trying to be humorous, trying to be comical. I wouldn't be surprised if Tommy Cash says after Eurovision that it was some sort of experiment for him to enter Estilaul and then go to Eurovision. I think he definitely wants to win Eurovision, but that definitely isn't happening in my opinion. He could do very, very well in the public half of the results, though. The juries, the music professionals, they might look at this and think, what the hell is going on here? I'm not giving this any love whatsoever. We'll wait and see. I don't think he's the strongest live vocalist whatsoever. I'm interested to see the staging. The Ace Lal performance did not impress me one bit. I thought it was all fairly amateurish. Maybe that was the point. I don't really know. For now, number 17. I usually love Estonia at Eurovision, but this year I am somewhat underwhelmed. Number 16, Albania. People love this. It is Shkodra Elektronike with Zhurm, and it is growing on me, I have to say. I preferred Carnival by a mile, and still do. However, this is a really, really strong effort from Albania, and I don't usually like Albania's entries, truth be told. This, on the other hand, is solid stuff. When it's being performed live, it's been great. Vocally, it's pretty good. Visually, it's not too shabby at all. Again, I use that word atmospheric because it really is. It feels quite dramatic and unsettling somehow, as though there's something bubbling beneath the surface waiting to be unleashed. I'm really liking it. I don't think it's winning Eurovision, but it could be Albania's best result for many years, and it's in Albanian, which is very welcome. My number 15, my biggest grower, is the UK. This is Remember Monday with What the Hell Just Happened. This song is all over the damn shop. I'm not too sure about that. It's very theatrical. I think the staging will play into the theatrics of this song, and I believe all three members of this group have a background in the theatre, so that could definitely help their cause. They are great vocalists. The harmonies are splendid, and I think a lot of people were very impressed with their pre-party performances very recently. However, I am convinced the public score is going to be hugely disappointing for this song. The jury score might be a lot better. Hopefully we'll have a cushy slot in the running order as well. The promotion for this song has been there, but here in the UK there's been very little at all. There's been more talk about Sweden than the UK in the UK. That tells you everything you need to know. I think the BBC also completely fumbled the bag when it came to announcing them as our representatives this year. But the song is growing on me and I very much wish them well. They are very likeable ladies. My number 14 is Australia. Going off this one ever so slightly, it's Gojo with Milkshake Man. It's highly suggestive. It's fun. It's bizarre. He sounds a bit creepy in the verses. Hopefully he will not have a milkshake van on stage with him or something like that, because I don't know, I just think that would be a bit too gimmicky in all honesty. Not being blown away with his pre-party performances, but this might do a lot better than many of us are expecting. Right now, it's my number 14. My number 13 is Czechia. Really not too sure about this song's chances. Several weeks ago I would have said yes, sure qualifier. Now I'm really not too sure, because the attention has definitely waned for this track. Kiss Kiss Goodbye by Adonis. He's an experienced, perfectly fine vocalist. The song is solid. Feels somewhat radio friendly, I would say. We've got the dance break, which I don't love, but it's obviously staying. It might be the most memorable thing about the live performance next month. I just don't know whether enough people are going to get behind this one. As such, it might be in a spot of bother heading into Eurovision this year. My number 12 is Germany. This is Aborrentina with Baller. This is great. Very radio friendly, very contemporary. It's got a good beat. Loving the cello instrumentation as well that we have in this song. Major changes are necessary to the staging, if you ask me, and indeed the vocals. They have to be a lot better. They have pulled out of another pre-party, so it's not looking too great. I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm hoping they turn up at Eurovision and it's absolutely sublime. I have full faith that can be the case next month, because this is a really, really solid German effort. Truth be told, this should be finishing much higher than last year's German effort from Isaac, and yet a lot of us are expecting Germany to finish a lot lower than they did last year, which is really strange, because this is a much finer song, if you ask me. Could be a big hit all over Europe. Don't see any reason why that couldn't be the case. I just hope there's more promotion for this song over the next few weeks. Maybe there's more live performances coming up soon, I don't know. It's really good, very catchy. Enjoyable stuff. Number 11, another massive dark horse, Italy. Not the winner of Sanremo, of course. Lucio Corsi, the prince of this year's competition, excluding Prince, of course, for Serbia. This is Volevo essere un duro. Loving the lyrics of this song, like the music video, and I just think this is really touching. It's a bit like Portugal in the sense that it gives off, at least to me, a somewhat hazy, summery atmosphere. Really loving it. It's somewhat powerful, but it's not overpowering at all. It just feels quite fragrant somehow. And I go back to the lyrics because they're absolutely fantastic. Probably one of the best written songs this year. But will first-time listeners give a crap about that? I'm not sure they will. Could be Italy's weakest result at Eurovision for a number of years, but it's a really fine song and I like it more every time I hear it. Very much a song that feels as though it could be from the 70s or something. You know, maybe like an album song that's been long forgotten by David Bowie or something. Really, really nice. Moving into the top 10 now. Bear with me as my voice craps out on me. My number 10 is Iceland, opening the first semi-final next month in Basel. Vibe with Roa. It's the two brothers in these somewhat baggy silver outfits. I thought at Song for Kepnin it wasn't brilliant. It was good, but it wasn't brilliant. Vocally, maybe a little bit shaky. At the pre-parties, they've sounded a lot better. The crowd are loving them. It's harmless fun. There's energy, lots of youthful vigour on display. I'm not sure they're going through, but it's a fun time. Pop meets sea shanty type stuff. Very enjoyable. Lovely. We move on. Number 9, Luxembourg. Yes, I had a feeling this was going to happen. As the season continued and I wasn't very impressed with what was happening, I kept thinking to myself, my God, Luxembourg's going to be in my top 10 this year. That's currently the case. La Poupée monte le son by Laura Thorne. Very much a tribute, a follow-up, if you will, to Luxembourg's winning entry 50 years ago this year by France Gall. The staging, I believe there's going to be a few changes, which is fine. It's very playful. I can absolutely understand why people don't like this. It might come across as too sweet, too saccharine, too cutesy, too forced in terms of its light-hearted manner, perhaps. But I'm really enjoying it. We've had the revamp. It does pack a little bit more of a punch now. It's my number 9 of the year. Don't be surprised if this does really well. My number 8, Denmark, Sissal, who I believe is from the Faroe Islands. She's got quite the personality. A lot of people are really enjoying her in terms of the press that she's doing. Yes, her birthday is just after mine. She's 30, from the Faroe Islands. Fantastic. Faroe Islands represent. This song is pretty ordinary, I suppose. It's a fairly safe pop song. And we've had things like that from Denmark over the past few years, you could say. And yet, there seems to be a bit more love for Denmark this year. Is that because of her, or is that because the song is something that people are just really on board with this time around? I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. The outfit needs to change. The visuals could do with changing as well because they look really damn basic at the moment. But she's got quite a presence on stage. Vocally, she's great pretty much every time. Can Denmark qualify for the final for the first time this decade next month? Here's hoping so. My number 7 of the year, it's the host nation, Switzerland. This is just an absolutely gorgeous, very precious sounding song. Zoe May with Voyage. Like her, she's a good live singer. It's very tender, very touching. I'm loving the strings that we sort of have in this song as well. It's all very subtly executed, but it's done in such a great manner. This should be up there getting a lot of love, but I have a feeling the public are probably going to shun it. What a surprise that would be. The juries, if they have any sense, should give this a lot of love. We'll wait and see next month. What a great host nation entry. My number 6, Spain. Yes, maybe a bit generous in the eyes and ears of many. This is Essa Diva by Melody. Big star. She's been making music for a long time. This is just somewhat typical, maybe, somewhat stereotypical sounding pop. I don't really know how else to phrase it. It all feels sort of expected. When you listen to this song, you sort of know how it's going to progress. Saying that, I really like it. Liked it at Benidorm Fest. Still like it now. She's a pretty solid performer. She's a pretty strong vocalist as well. She is a diva type figure. She's very enthusiastic about the contest. I can't see Spain doing very well this year. Let's be realistic. Come on now. This probably isn't going to get a whole lot of love. But it's not a bad song. My number 5, it's the Netherlands. This is C'est la vie by Claude. Really beautiful, obviously quite personal to him. The staging, I have a feeling it's going to be all one continuous tracking shot. That didn't work for the Netherlands in 2015. It might work a decade on. A lot of people are really enjoying this. Maybe it's lacking a bit of pizzazz, but it's still a really strong, credible effort. I like it. I wish him well. He's a good vocalist. We've had a live performance or two of this song as well. Lovely stuff. It's my number 5. It could win if everybody else messes up. My number 4 is France. This is great. I like this more than their entry last year. It's another ballad. And again, many people might say this is lacking a little bit of pizzazz, but it's still a really, really solid effort by one of the biggest names this year, Louane, with Maman. She performed this at the Stade de France several weeks ago. It was really fantastic. Then I listened to the studio version, liked it a hell of a lot more, appreciated it a hell of a lot more. This is a very, very sweet, very personal song. She lost her mother when she was a teenager, and she's a mother herself, so it's sort of dealing with all of these emotions. It's just wonderful. Just wonderful, and it's absolutely a serious contender for the win. It's my number 4 at this moment in time. France looking for their first win since the late 70s. My number 3 is Austria. This is so impressive. JJ Wasted Love. Yes, this man can sing. There's been quite a bit of backlash towards this song. I don't really know why. Is it because people aren't really a fan of operatic style music or operatic style vocals? Or is it because of another reason entirely? I don't really know. This is perhaps the one to beat next month. It's a really stirring song, very powerful, builds up, and then there's this great shift in the final third where it becomes a lot more up-tempo, and it feels as though it's really going to build up to a very explosive finale indeed. Just absolutely tremendous, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's floating in midair in Basel somehow, recreating that scene from the music video. Yeah, absolutely one of my favourites this year. My number 2 is Finland, Erika Vikmanik, thought this was so impressive at UMK. I've said it previously, I'll say it again. Owning the stage, commanding the performance, looking fantastic. It's not really over-sexualised like it probably could have been. I'm hoping there aren't too many changes at Eurovision because the UMK performance was absolutely fantastic. Her name on the backdrop, the microphone floating in midair, the firework coming out the end of it, and she was strutting down the stage, sounding really good in that black outfit, looking fantastic. She's slightly younger than me. This is tremendous. And yeah, I think the crowd are going to be fired up for this one. It's quite catchy. It's a return to form for Finland after last year's sort of blip on the radar, if you can call it that. Wonderful. It's my number 2 of the year, which means Sweden's my number 1. Kai with Barabadabastu, the guy playing the accordion, was born on the exact same day as me in the same year. This is just pure fun, really. Sweden showing that it doesn't have to be really radio-friendly English language pop every time. It can be this sort of thing in Swedish, and still they're contenders to win. They're going to take some stopping. The only thing that could stop Sweden winning is if the public score is a little bit underwhelming. That could happen. And if the juries aren't really on board with this either. We'll just have to wait and see next month. We've got the sauna structure on stage, the trees, they're very smartly dressed even though they're in a sauna. You've got the dancers, the quite comical but very effective choreography, and it's just so catchy. It's been number 1 for weeks in Sweden, number 1 for weeks in Finland. The points will pour in. But if Cha 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 didn't win, and if Rim Tim Taggy Dim didn't win, will Barabadabastu win? I don't know. And as much as I do have Sweden as my personal winner at this moment in time, I have to say there's a part of me that doesn't want Sweden to win again because I've had enough of Sweden winning. I'd like somebody else to win for a change. Anyway, if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to complain because it's always nice when your personal favourite comes out on top. that is my ranking. My voice is shot to pieces, as you can probably tell. For the record, Israel, Yuval Raphael, New Day Will Rise. It's a ballad, similar to last year, maybe a bit schmaltzy. Clearly a very strong vocalist, though. I think it's slightly better than their entry last year. Right now, it's probably my number 32 or 33 of the year. Cannot rank it any higher. Not sure I'll ever be ranking it much higher if I'm being honest with you, but that's roughly where they would be in this top. That's it. Hopefully this video turned out okay. I really do need to rest my voice now. I'll be back with more Eurovision related content fairly soon. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, respect my opinions as I will with yours, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.